Kerri, what are you making this?
Breakfast casseroles. This one is Parmesan bagels with artichoke hearts and goat cheese. And the other one's chorizo and shredded Southwest potatoes and cheese and eggs.
Even in her circle of friends, she was always the one.
The planner for like whatever they were doing.
Somebody's birthday.
You know, she doesn't like being the center of attention, but she definitely likes doing things for other people. She definitely has that gift.
I learned a lot about Kerri's love for people just from listening to all the things that she's done for other people. Kerri and her wife Kate often held these therapy get-togethers at their own home. She would have a happy hour there. She made food, and it was important to her to make sure that the team all felt included. They were all on the same page, and they felt a camaraderie to make sure the team was always first and foremost. Kerri does those things because she's natural at it. It's in her, and that's a true testament to Kerri's personality and how she just draws people to her. I don't think Kerri recognizes it as much as the rest of the people do.
We are building a float for a Mardi Gras parade at one of the communities that we see patients in. So the Green Valley team is coming, and then the program managers from Tucson and Green Valley. It's going to be based on more BAYADA colors, and then we're going to add stuff to make it work for Mardi Gras. I guess they go all out, so we're trying to win the competition this year. I was working in Florida in an outpatient clinic and got an opportunity for the job at Fort Huachuca. That was a bit of culture shock going down.
It's very
small.
Very small.
And we were both working in the same physical therapy clinic, so that's how we met.
I didn't really know anyone. You know, she didn't know anyone. We were kind of the only single people in the area. For me personally, I am immediately attracted to an empathetic and compassionate person, and she just kind of demonstrates that in every aspect of her life.
I met her 3 years ago. She was working in Fort Huachuca. I don't know if she was the main PT. And I went in and I said, well, why don't you do it this way? And then she looked at me and she goes, oh. 2 seconds later, one of the soldiers says, Dr. Tuttle. And I go, oops. And I'm like, oh my God, I just made a fool of myself. I sort of apologized, and she laughed. And she goes, no, I kind of liked it because, you were not afraid. And so we started working together as a team.
Well, it's one of the reasons I switched to BAYADA, because it wasn't the philosophy when I was working on post. It was, okay, you just need to see more and more because we see what you can do. I tried everything to get around that because I really enjoyed treating the soldiers, and that was important to me.
She came in and asked me if I could put together a full-time offer for her and what it would look like, and I said, of course. And I was excited because Kerri was a great fit for BAYADA, and I had an offer ready the very next day, and she looked at it and she said, well, what if I just signed this right now? And I just thought, I think I might wet my pants. I was so excited to get somebody of her quality into our office.
You have to do what makes you happy too, and I couldn't help people there the way I wanted to anymore, so it was time to move on.
When you are a PTA, you want to find that PT that you click with, because everything is beautiful. I mean, you learn, they learn.
So I've only been working with BAYADA for about 7 months now, and I actually had my interview with Kerri, and I was actually really excited to work with her because being an assistant, it's pretty rare to have someone that is so engaged and willing to teach you and willing to put everything into making you a better clinician.
Anytime I get a patient on the phone, I always ask to make sure that they're happy and they're getting everything they need. Every single patient, even the most difficult of patients, just rave about Kerri. She's the epitome of the perfect clinician.
To be able to flip into a completely different population and demonstrate the exact same amount of care and passion, that's everything that I think medicine should be. It should be something that you do because you care about people and you really want the best for them.
When she came in here, there was something that just hit me. You knew from the get-go she cared. and you knew that she would always do what she was trained to do, but Kerri went above and beyond that caring.
It's one of the harder cases I've had to work on.
Watching her just worry about Terry like she was a family member. It was heartbreaking, but it was also really eye-opening too, because not very many people have that kind of empathy that you can't train that into a person. That's just part of who she is, so.
She deals with me working way too much and answering phone calls or emails or texts at all sorts of hours, and knows that some people don't have anyone else out there to help.
Is there anything that you've ever wanted to tell Kerri that you've never told her before?
I think that she worries that her care and concern for other people takes up some kind of room, whether it's even just on a marital scale or a family scale. And I think that what she doesn't necessarily always remember is that she has more than enough compassion and empathy and concern, and that's part of what keeps her going. So nobody feels shorted because she cares about her patients so much. There's plenty of Kerri to share. Coming from a military background, you have this mentality, I guess, of heroes being these muscly people, whether they're male or female. These aren't people that are, storming the gates with weapons. They're not fortifying our borders. They're people that are going out, talking to everyday people and finding out their needs. And that is what really makes a difference in a person's life. You just need to be able to pay attention to every single person that you interact with and take an opportunity to do something kind. And I think that is a lost art in today's society. People just genuinely caring about every single person that they interact with and doing whatever they can. Maybe they can't do everything, but they can do whatever they can, and that's pretty heroic to me.